Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Vistaya Bhutale Simate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namani Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavati Paskatyade Satarine. From my most humble obeisance to my worshipable spiritual master Srila Prabhupada Bhaktivedanta Swami, and to all other Shiksha Gurus and great souls who have given me examples and enthusiasm to continue to give to others what we received. When I go around India, I meet very frequently the Vaishnavas who have a great desire to go to the West and to open temples there. Well, because they've seen what happened. They've seen that Prabhupada went around the world and touched so many hearts. So they are very impressed and they think maybe they can go and touch some people's heart too. They think, well, maybe that is a way I can satisfy my spiritual master and the vision of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. No pritiviti achiyate nagaradigram sarvata procharahayam oivenoma moranam. The last recording I made, sound didn't record at all. And I didn't realize it until the class was over. Om Keshavaya Namaha. Yes, such a wonderful thing. Krishna consciousness. We should have temples in every town and village. Is it possible? Well, definitely it is. It's just a question of how you manage it, you know. If you see how much money people invest in all kinds of useless things, but really, really useless things, and they invest money, or they have so many things to do to increase their sports stadiums and thousands of other things. Or little temple doesn't need to be so big and complicated. The temple is good if there's a little house with a nice big room, with an altar, and some devotees living there, cooking, inviting for prasadam, a kitchen. And then to the upper side, there's no limits. But in the small size, it's very, very easy. It's not difficult at all. Just you have to, where there's a will, there's a way. And that's what Prabhupada showed us. That's why I've seen many people open in temples. You never expect them to do that. But they followed Srila Prabhupada's principle. And he loved the people, looked after them, did everything appropriate, registered the society, created an official institution of Krishna consciousness, but managing it as a family. And family means the person who does that, he really has to love the local people. And some of the things I say, I certainly will repeat myself, but it's like this course is for those who really want to have a solid, beautiful temple where you can take shelter of, where you can participate. If you're living with your family, you can make a namahata expansion of the temples. And then you go to the temple and you bring sometimes your devotees there. It's like there's many types of attempts which have been made over the years to spread Krishna consciousness. And Srila Prabhupada is the foremost person to establish true places of shelter, true places of spiritual association. And that's what, for us, it is something you may call it occupational therapy as well. If you don't establish a center for Krishna consciousness, then you don't have where to practice Krishna consciousness. If you do not establish a center for Krishna consciousness, others will not have a chance to find a place where Krishna consciousness is being practiced. And if you don't have involvement and participation in the activities of a Krishna conscious center, then you'll be sitting somewhere and doing nothing. Who knows, watching TV, going through your Facebook, or doing this or that, whatever, but you won't have what keeps you chanting Hare Krishna, speaking and listening to Harikatha. All these things you won't have. So it is actually a topmost necessity to establish centers for Krishna consciousness. And I beg you to bear with me when I give you these reflections of what happened to me, how my life was enhanced unlimitedly by living in Krishna conscious centers. One of the foremost was the one rooms, so many incredible facilities, a big garden, a lake, a goshala, everything. I mean, that place is fantastic even today, where thousands of Hindus go there. But when I was there, we were living there and had our many Sankirtan parties there. We come there on the weekends, and then we go out all over England distributing the books of Prabhupada. So I had some beautiful experience there. But again and again, wherever I went to Krishna conscious centers, not only in our own groups, but also, like one time I was in an ashram of Sri Sampradaya in Hyderabad. And they also had just a big house, and they had, behind the house, they had some garden, and they had a goshala there. And then we used to do go puja there. That was part of the sadhana, specific sadhana of Sri Sampradaya. It was very beautiful, the cows. They were very surprised when a bunch of people come there to worship them, just to worship the cows. So Krishna consciousness is so amazing. And what I will touch upon, the main topic today is the teach-to-teach principle. It is the teach-to-teach principle is enthusing others to practice. When they practice, they should preach to enthuse others. And then they preach to those who they preach that they should enthuse others. So it's a chain reaction, a domino reaction, but a personalized and very wonderful domino reaction, because the more it goes on, the more people are practicing Krishna consciousness, getting to hear kirtans, getting to listen to Bhagavad Gita shlokas, and question and answers, and service. Service, 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 and more service. And what is that service? Spreading Krishna consciousness. You teach to teach. That's what Lord Krishna says. Yaidang paramanguyam mabhakti shabidasyati. Says, the one who is the most dearest of all dear to me is the one who teaches my teachings to others. So it's right from Lord Krishna's own words. Teach to teach others. So that's also like, you see, it's a little silly comparison, but millions of people in this world have taken Reiki initiation to become a Reiki master. If it really works, what they're doing, that there would be no diseased person in the world, the hospitals will all be empty. But anyhow, to heal people by putting the hands on them and praying for them, it does help, at least in a moment, to feel accompanied. But I'm not against healing and praying for others at all. But what I'm saying is that millions of people took that because they said, now I can become a healer, that easy. But to spread Krishna consciousness, to preach, to teach others to teach, that is not difficult. You only have to open the Bhagavad Gita, read from it, and if you can't say anything, then read the next verse. And if you still can't say anything because you don't feel like there's anything from your side to say, then read the next verse. And whoever listens to you, he's listening to the Bhagavad Gita as it is of Srila Prabhupada. This is wonderful. So you can announce Bhagavad Gita classes without saying anything, just reading from Prabhupada. So easy. Anybody can do that. Anybody can cook a little prasadam, offer it to Krishna and distribute it. Come on. Why not? If you know how to cook, just learn it. What's the big deal? What's the big deal of learning to cook some delicious preparation? But this teaching to teach means I believe in you. And I believe that you can get others to believe in you because you believe in them. And that's a chain reaction, which is love and trust. What I believe, what I say I heard from Prabhupada, I believe it. That's why I'm showing my face here and speaking what I'm speaking. I'm not trying to make a club, a chain of Rotary clubs or Lions clubs with many people who are like belonging to some mental construction. No. A temple is a place where you relate to the Supreme Personality of God through your prayer, through the Mahamantra, through the deities, through the sadhus, through the spiritual teachers. You relate to them. You become connected. You are actually empowered if you want. Take place. And this empowerment, that is wonderful. You feel so wonderful when you see that you and your life has been empowered to do something. Can you imagine this? And teaching to teach, it's like when you have some real good secret, or what a secret. You know where to get something, what others want to have. Now, are you going to tell the others? Or are you going to say, no, it's only for me. I'll keep it just for myself. So that when I want to get more of it, I know how to, the secret place where to get it. And I will get more for me. Huh? Are you that stingy, narrow-minded? Or did you find something in Krishna consciousness and you know others can go there and get also the same? Much more, enough. There's enough for all. So let people get Krishna consciousness. So your center you establish is where you teach people to teach. And then, before you know it, from one center you have 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 20. I think with my preaching, I reached 200 places in the world for preaching. Then, of course, I couldn't visit them anymore, and then it is necessary other people to continue that, but it was amazing. And that was the simple formula. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught that we should tell everybody about Krishna. Yarete kitahi kaha Krishna upadesh. Tell everybody about Krishna. Bhaja Goranga Kaha Goranga Laha Goranga Nam Yegana Goranga Bhaja Seha Yamo Pran. Chant Krishna's name, speak about Krishna, worship Krishna. Whoever worships Goranga, he becomes my life and soul. Nityananda Prabhu was chanting to Lord Goranga. You see, they are teachers. Mahaprabhu went all around and was teaching. Nityananda Prabhu went everywhere teaching. Narottam Das Thakur went teaching everywhere. Shyamananda was teaching. Srinivas Acharya was teaching. Prabhupada was teaching. All his god brothers were teaching. And I could give you like an unlimited list of people. All they would do is teach others. So teaching others what you have received from the Guru, from the Sadhu, what you've heard in the Krishna Conscious Center. This is so powerful. It is so delightful. Oh, we got some last sun rays coming in from the end of the day. Yes, it is It is something unimaginable that a simple soul, rather ignorant and engrossed with the material energy, gets by the mercy of Prabhupada the chance to start teaching. I didn't have any desire for having any profession in this world. But when my spiritual master told me that I should go and teach to others what he taught me, I felt I got a mission for my life, for the rest of my life. And I was very grateful and very thankful. And I didn't imagine to how many places it would take me. First, it took me to the communist countries, communist Germany, communist Hungary. Then it took me to Scandinavia, all the Scandinavian countries. Then it took me to the other Northern European countries. Then I met Prabhupada in India, 1975. And so on, finally going to America, going to South America, meeting my Shiksha Guru, Srila Sridhar Maharaj, after Prabhupada's departure. That also changed a lot of my vision of what to do and how to continue. Because I understood that unless we have a beautiful family with devotees associating with each other and helping each other, then our life will be very, very empty. So that's a key. That's a key to understand. To be there for others and tell them to be there for others. When you go on Sankirtan, you book distribution. When you're a receptionist, when you are out in a fair and you have a little book stall, whatever, you can come up with 1,000 different forms and places to preach. Jai Suryadev. You can find so many ways. And you should always have books with you. Doesn't matter whether you're a sannyasi or brahmachari, whatever you are, always have books with you. And anybody who approaches you and wants to know something, give him a book of Prabhupada or other Vaishnava literature, but give him something. Don't let them go empty-handed. Don't do that. Be kind to them. And if you can give some prasadam, oh, that is also fantastic. Do not hesitate. Do not hesitate to give people what you have gotten from Srila Prabhupada or from other Vaishnavas. So the people in the world, they're waiting for that. They're waiting for you. And you should wait, or you should. I can't wait to meet them, to teach them, to serve them. The preacher, the one who established the center, he's definitely the servant of everybody who comes to that center. This is something we have to never forget, that we are the servants. Krishna serves Arjuna as a charioteer. Prabhupada served us as a humble saint. All his devotees. And he answered, whoever shall lead you in the future, he shall and must become the servant of all right now. Leaders are not to use those who come to them. Leaders are those to serve those who come to them. Serve them. Serve them by encouraging them to also serve others. We are the servants of 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 Gopil Padakamala Yurdasa Dasa Anudasa of Krishna, the one who maintains the gopis. That's the simple formula, opening a center of service. So don't be afraid to open a center if you're ready to serve. The bathroom have to be washed. If nobody's there to wash, you wash it. There's nobody in the kitchen to cook? Well, go in the kitchen and cook. There's nobody to speak to the guests? Sit down and speak to the guests. Be happy about every opportunity to serve others with great empathy and compassion and love. The people will be very grateful. They will be charmed. Say, who is this person I met here? How an amazing individual. He came to serve me instead of asking me something. I want to be connected with such a person because this is really a different type of world. In the material world, everybody wants to be the boss. Everybody wants to give orders to the others. Everybody wants to show his superiority to others. And to tell you the truth, that is generally despised. People just tolerate Dutch people because they have ulterior motive to somehow get in and catch something from him or her. This is not a sincere service relationship. The devotees are not proprietor of anything. You know that Krishna owns everything. Nobody can take anything. That's why when you get involved with any property ever, make sure they are registered in such a way that they cannot be possessed by a ghost of selfishness. Anybody who wants to take some property which is Krishna's service, he is possessed by a ghost. Very dangerous position because it all belongs to Krishna. And do you know how many spaces in this world are just lying bare, empty? Capitalism invests here, invests there, then the people who invest, they die, then the banks come and take it and sell it off to others. I mean, in the real estate in this world, I wouldn't be surprised if more than half of all the real estate is empty. And it could be much more. I don't know. All this idea, oh, I own a few this, I own a few that. You own nothing. And also the devotees are with you. They're not your property. You have to get that pretty clear. You're the servant of them. They all belong to Krishna. They're Krishna's devotees. So it's very important that when you have a Krishna conscious center, that nobody thinks I'm the owner of anybody. We should always think, I am here being tolerated by these wonderful people. I don't know how long they will tolerate me, but I thank them for every second they have tolerated me. And Krishna consciousness is spreading, even though we are kind of obstacles in that spreading. But we should try to not be obstacles. We should try to be instruments of spreading Krishna consciousness. But those who tolerate us, they're definitely great people, great souls. So if the people have enthusiasm to teach others, and of course you teach by example, that's another thing which is obvious. If you don't teach by example, you have not taught. So if you made a mistake, you better correct the mistake, otherwise you teach something wrong, and that's not what we are looking for. We are looking for the right thing. And now this seminar is really dedicated to learning how to do things right so that our spiritual communities can grow blissfully, ever growing, because Lord Chaitanya is the Yuga avatar, and his message is that in this age of Kali, Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Eva Kevalum Kalau Nasteva, Nasteva, Nasteva Gati Anyata. In this age of Kali, the only thing which can save us, the very only thing, is the chanting of the holy name, is the chanting of the divine holy name of Krishna. By this chanting of the divine holy name, we can have association with Krishna. Krishna can dance on our tongue, dance in our kirtan, in our bhajan, dance with us in book distribution, dance with us in going on the street or having big musical festivals of the holy name. Yeah, that is really, really something. Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Shastra Koi, Lava Mata, Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Siddhi Hoy. It says, by the fraction of a second of real devotee association, a person's heart can be transformed. He can turn in becoming a devotee. Just by associating with devotees, everything can change for the better. He can decide to become a real devotee in this lifetime. Can you imagine this? You say, I'm not a sadhu. That's true. I'm also not a sadhu. But I worship the sadhus. I long for their company. I long for their service. So just because you feel you're not qualified, you should not think of not doing it. That would be very sad, because there's nothing worse than not trying. If you haven't been successful trying immediately, well, then you try again. That is the next step. There's no real reason, no good reason to not try helping others when you see how much help the others need. Without Krishna consciousness, where were we? Or where are they? What are they doing with their life? Consumer society. No idea that they're a soul. No idea that they're responsible. Can you imagine that? Really, Krishna consciousness is incredible. It teaches you that you have a connection with the divine which goes right through the heart. A super soul is in your heart, always ready to help you, sending spiritual master to help you, sending sadhus to help you, sending the holy name to help you. It is amazing. So there's so many good news. We are eternal spirit souls, and we are invited into the spiritual world. And this faith which we have been given, that is really powerful. Because it takes us away from smoking, drinking, gambling, meat eating, selfish activities. It takes us away from everything which takes us away from Krishna. You got that? It takes us away from everything which takes us away from Krishna. In other words, it pushes us towards Krishna. Go to Krishna. Come on, don't hesitate. Krishna is waiting for you with a big hug. What are you waiting for, please? That is what Krishna is like. Krishna is so amazing. I cannot. When I say this, opening another center for Krishna consciousness, I mean opening a place where people can become happy and embrace all these wonderful things which we are talking about right now. It's a reality. All you need to do is pay a rent. You're already paying rent, or if you have a house, if you own a place, then you can just make one room a temple room and invite people there every evening to listen to the Bhagavad Gita. How many of you have houses, farms, this, that? Use them. Only if you want to make a real temple where people can take shelter of, then you should try to create a field of Ishtagoshti, of a group of deciding together how to organize it, where to preach, and how to organize the real estate or whatever facility is there. Practical management is very useful. Those who want to establish Krishna conscious centers in the world, they are good managers. at least some of them. And then they can understand, okay, we have to do something here. I mean, to open a center every day, it requires serious dedication. What a big heck! Every firefighter, he has to be on call 24/7. If there's a fire, he cannot say, oh, I'm tired now, I'm lying here in my bed. No, fire is burning, get out, run there. So the devotees, they see that the material world is a forest fire. And anybody in this forest fire who's screaming, help, 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 I'm burning in the forest fire of material existence, help me. Like millions of people crying like this out there. If there's no center for Krishna conscious to go to, if there's no sadhu they can meet, then they're hopeless. So we have a mission to do. I don't know how many people I met in my life and thus they started being interested in Krishna. I want to be an instrument of the love of my Lord. I can do that. I can just go out now in the street with a pair of kartals and chant Hare Nama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And people are going to look at me and say, who is this crazy guy? From which planet did he come? I don't care. I came here to meet you so you can chant and hear the holy name. And that is very special. That's where we go. Where the people are, hopeless. You know, the hopeless people, they lie in the street nowadays. There's so many derelicts and people hopeless, and not only those who are living in the street, many people are so desperate living in their homes. They don't know what to do with their life because they have not been informed that they're eternal spirit soul. So, preach the message of Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada or your Guru Deva respectively and preach with love and get it going. Get it going. Don't hesitate. And make sure that those who are representing you when you're not there, they stay in the same spirit. So that's why we have a training. Sadhana Bhakti is a very wonderful training for learning. Tapa, austerity, getting up early. Yajna, doing sacrifice, chanting the holy names, only eating prasada. These are the very important elements. They're like the basis which should never be given up. Sadhu Sangha, association of devotees. And the chanting of the mantras should never be given up to chant the holy name. And Krishna Conscious was so full of advices and so many good recommendations. If you try to follow them, you'll be successful. Satyam Shivam Sundaram, the highest truth, is the highest auspiciousness, and it's very beautiful. So I invite you to really take these instructions to heart and to study the whole course. It's a course which comes from my heart practically. Of course, I have written down many topics here which I'm covering in this course and going deeper, but I'm relying here largely to my memory, because in this case the course is a living course of what I have personally experienced, in which I share with you, and you will have to share with others then your personal experience, because it's like that, you know. So our spiritual masters have given us so many information, so many scriptures, so many valuable instructions. So we are ready to go deeper and deeper and deeper. And to go deeper means to practice seriously in good association. I thank you very much for joining me today on this 4th chapter of how to open a temple in the Western world. There'll be many, many more practical details. And if you go out there, especially if you're from India and you're going to a Western country and you says, okay, now I'm going to try to establish one of Prabhupada's, or like Prabhupada's, a spiritual center of Krishna Conscious, I tell you, there's many things you can definitely consider carefully what I am giving you here in this section, or in the whole course. And the only thing I do this because I want you to be successful, and the people to come to you to get the maximum benefit of having met a devotee who is trying to establish a center in their heart. Don't forget that. Establishing a center of Krishna conscious in their heart. In the temple also, but it has to be in their heart if you want them to become the carriers of Krishna's love and mercy. And don't be afraid. Krishna promises, my devotees will never perish. So even though you may renounce many other external things, in reality, in Krishna consciousness, you renounce only things which are useless waste of time, and you come directly to the essence of life. I be with you to continue this meditation very soon. Thank you very much. Krishna be with you, Prabhupada be with you, the holy name be with you, Sri Vrindavan will be with you. And this temporary material life one day will come to an end. And if you're in a temple of Krishna consciousness surrounded by devotees who are also chanting, it may be your last birth, and you may be one step going back to home, back to Godhead. This is what these Center of Krishna Conscious all about. They're embassies where you can get passport and visa and travel guide. Hari Bol.